Hello everybody and welcome back. This is my quick recap on Vault 101's various computer terminals. So out here I am Generic Joe here. Here he is, Generic Joe. It's just like your base default male character. So let's have a look, see what's interesting. I'm going to cut in and out so you get interesting stuff. So I've also got higher graphics on because I'm not needing to play this as much. So I've put it on higher graphics settings so it's easier to, I can record things and still look better. Right, cryogenic array. Cryogenic array is offline. Premature termination resulting in system failure. Isolated manual and remote overrides detected. Controls disabled. Life support offline. Premature termination. Isolated manual remote, so controls disabled. Okay, we've already had a look through the occupant statuses. We already know who's here. And we know they are all dead. Fun note, Nate is the male's name that it generates for you, and Nora is the female's generic name. Sean, not the traditional Irish S-E-A-N, I think it's the traditional Irish S-H-A-U-N in this one, so it's not the normal, or what I consider the normal spelling of Sean. Just like the normal spelling of Siobhan doesn't sound anything like it. Siobhan. Cool, and we will back with the next one in just a moment. Oh yeah, I'd just like to point out, you can only see on the higher graphics settings, this is high rather than ultra, already significant graphics difference between that and the medium level one. Just thought I'd show you. So next, this is where we've just come from, and I think there's a terminal in here, so be right back in a minute. Okay, so here we are with the second cryo batch. We already know about the cryogenic array and life support, but we have the pod occupants. We have Mr. DePetto, Cindy Coffran, Mrs. Whitfield, Mrs. Coffran. I'm guessing Cindy Coffran's mother, probably. Mr. Whitfield and Mr. Coffran. Now, Cindy is the only actually first name showing. Deceased, cause of death, asphyxiation, life support failure. As everybody has all died because of asphyxiation, because life support failed, and we are the only one left alive. Now, I don't know which pod is Cindy's pod. I think it's definitely one of the middle ones. Again, don't know. Could be. Could be one of the ones over here. Curiously, yeah, there we are. So it could be that pod, could be that pod. Probably not that pod, that doesn't look like a Cindy to me. Or might, I don't know. Is that a beard? It looks like it might be a beard. Anyway, next one. Okay, the next terminal is the security room, which if you come out, you see the rad roach on the window there. Yeah, see already high quality posters. In we go, and it's this terminal right here. So, security instructions. Confidential, confidential, confidential. Security eyes only. Violation VTP ZAT-01011. Vault 111 is designed to test long-term effects of suspended animation on unaware human subjects. Security staff are responsible for maintaining installation integrity and monitoring science staff activity. Under no circumstances are staff allowed to deviate from the assigned duties. Insubordination or interference with fault operations are capital offences. Security staff are authorised to use lethal force. So if you watch my other video, you already know what the results of insubordination are in accordance with the overseer's wishes. Operations Protocol Manual. Resident admittance. Upon activation notice from Vault-Tec, all personnel are required to report to the entry area and assist with admittance of Vault residents. Security personnel will maintain order and ensure that no personnel or residents attempt to evacuate the Vault. So everybody is to be kept inside. Research staff will be responsible for resident intake and escort each to the designated cryogenic pod. Residents not accounted for in the manifest should be asked to step aside and detained forcefully by security if necessary. Once all residents have been sealed into their preservation chambers, dispose of any detainees. Vault entryway must remain sealed under any circumstances. So, disposing most likely meaning kick outside or kill. So, duties, science staff. Members of the research team must daily monitor the vital... members of the research team must daily... I'm sure these should be... Members of the research team must monitor daily the vital signs of cryogenically preserved residents. Cardiopulmonary and cognitive activity in particular must be recorded hourly. Life-saving intervention is only permitted if greater than 80% of the resident population has perished while in cryogenic suspension and must not interrupt suspension. Independent research is encouraged and left to the overseer's discretion. Again, if you've seen my other video, you'll know that that does countermand what's actually on the overseer's terminal. Security personnel. Security patrols are to be carried out on a constant 8-hour rotation. Security priorities include monitoring for signs of intrusion, checking for atmospheric leaks, settling disputes among personnel, enforcement of regulations set forth by the overseer, and enforcement of the regulations set forth by Vault-Tec. Doesn't sound too bad. Facility services and maintenance. Due to the nature of Vault 111, personnel will be expected to perform duties outside their normal qualifications, such as janitorial duties and food preparation. The exact distribution of these roles is left to overseer discretion. Well, of course, because they're sealed in, if you just got a whole bunch of scientists and security personnel, where are the cooks, where are the cleaners? The security personnel and scientists have to do those jobs because you're sealed in. All clear and evacuation procedures. All clear message. Following a nuclear event, Vault-Tec will monitor hazards such as radiation levels, enemy invasion, subsequent attacks, and other factors. Once conditions are deemed safe, this terminal will receive an all-clear notice. Upon receiving the all-clear notice, Vault-Tec personnel may be evacuated at overseer discretion. Disregard any notices from organisations or individuals not associated with Vault-Tec, including government and military. Residents are not to be disrupted or evacuated. Vault-Tec will attend to their needs remotely once Vault 111 staff have been evacuated. So that's basically saying only trust word from Vault-Tec. The government may not be the government you are familiar with. It could potentially have been taken over by those dang Reds, because that's who we're at war with. And if the military show up, sorry, you're not allowed to let them in. This is an experiment, a controlled experiment, and must remain so. Mandatory shelter period. Vault 111 is classified as a short-term assignment. Non-resident personnel are expected to carry out research duties and basic maintenance of the vault while awaiting the all-clear signal to evacuate. In the absence of an all-clear message from Vault-Tec, the overseer may elect to evacuate staff after a mandatory shelter period of 180 days of containment. Under no circumstances may Vault 111 staff evacuate during this shelter period unless receiving the all-clear message from Vault-Tec. So that's a good 5 months. Everyone has to live underground in quite. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's by no means a particularly well stocked environment. Security logs. October 23rd, 2077. God, it finally happened. The world's over. Barely got all the residents inside. Not everyone made it. Now it's just us and the icebergs. I don't get it. Eggheads try to explain it to me that keeping them frozen is a big experiment for a better future or something. I don't know. It doesn't seem right that we're smiling at them all the time before putting them on ice. Shouldn't we have told them something? No, because that's against Vault-Tec rules. December 25th, 2077. Christmas Underground. Got together with the rest of the security boys and support staff and had a little party. Best gift that got handed out was a fancy lad snack cake that wasn't stale. None of the scientists came. Overseer wasn't there either. I just don't get them. Are they hiding something from us? Another company secret only for the higher-ups? Yeah, whatever. Just a few more months until the all-clear is supposed to come through, then we can start rebuilding. March 14, 2078. Only a few weeks left in our mandatory shelter period. Everyone's getting stir-crazy. Some people are even saying the all-clear signal is never coming. We can't stay here much longer, that's for sure. It's just not the fact that we've been staring at the same break room and bunk bed for over 6 months. It's the fact we only have enough food left for another few. You know, that's tops. So, the overseer keeps telling everyone to be patient, focus on work. He's definitely keeping us out of the loop. Something bad's going on, I just know it. April 23rd, 2078. The main door accessing the vault exit is malfunctioning. Now the only way out is through the overseer's evacuation tunnel. How convenient for him. He has one of the science team watching the door into his office at all times from a little makeshift checkpoint. Got invited to a meeting tonight. Support staffers and security only. Sounds like I'm not the only one with an axe to grind. Doesn't tell us who's writing this. Last entry, no date. Presumably some point in 2078. No all clear from Vault-Tec is coming. We need to leave. We're all but out of food. I almost murdered Stanley for dropping a damn salt cracker on the floor. A handful of us confronted the overseer about opening up the vault. I never knew a man that small could shout that loud. Now he's locked himself in his office along with the rest of the science staff. We're supposed to hand over any food, weapons and medicine we have by tonight, or there's going to be consequences. I've talked to everyone. It's time. One way or another, we're getting out of this vault. So anyhow, that's the security vault, security terminal. Let's head on to the next one. And here we are. The next one is just down the hallway there. It's the recreation terminal. Overseer's memo. Remember, the use of the recreation terminal is a privilege. If work performance declines, this privilege may be revoked. Enjoy responsibility. The top 10. Rick, Tim, TGM, SAE, SQV, TNM, TCL, TTT, STT, and QQQ. I'm assuming top 10 at doing a game or something? Who knows? Ooh. Eject holotape, the Red Menace. Let us play the tape. See what it comes up with. Ah, it is a game. The Red Menace. I haven't actually looked at this yet. It's... How high can you get? It's Donkey Kong. How do I jump? Ah, spacebar jump, okay. Oh no, I got caught by a barrel! Let's try it again. God, I wonder if people went stir crazy with this being their only game of only outlet they've got. Oh no, I almost made it. One last go by the looks of it. And then it's all over. Oh, there's a power arm symbol there. I wonder if I'm actually supposed to try and get that. Is it going to come down here? No, it's going to go that way. Okay. Oh, is it getting tougher? Whoops, I got hit by a bomb. I'm no good at Donkey Kong. Quit game. Yes. However, I will eject the holotape just in case I need to take it with me. There we are. So I can now take that and play it on any other computer anywhere. So, not much on the recreation terminal. Alarm indicates ammonia has been detected. Leave room immediately. Do not enter without hazmat protection. So, next one, I believe, is the Overseer terminal. And we'll see the results of there. So, just one mo. And yes, here we are. This is the Overseer's room. I'm not quite sure where this makeshift barricade is. It's outside the door. Because it's not there now. So let's have a look at the Overseer's terminal, shall we? Let's see what's in there, because there's not any terminals in here. This is just the Overseer's living quarters. And out there is the way back to the entrance of the vault. And there's no more computer terminals on that side as far as I can recall. Right, Overseer instructions. Confidential. 111 is designed to test the long-term effects of suspended animation on aware human subjects. Your staff will be on short-term assignments to monitor basic cardiopulmonary and cognitive functions. Long-term monitoring will be handled remotely by Vault-Tec technicians. Under no circumstance is suspension to be disrupted. Yeah, you already see disparity between this and the security terminal. This includes the administration of life-saving measures, even if over 80% of the population have died. Your staff is also considered expendable. Insubordination or attempts to evacuate prematurely are capital violations. Unused cryogenic pods are the preferred method for cadaver disposal. So there we are. So you can really see the kind of disparity going on between what the staff are told and what the guy in charge is being told. The guy in charge is saying, keep everyone inside the facility for as long as possible until the short-term contract comes up and is over. Until that point, nobody leaves for any reason, and if anybody tries to leave, you are authorized to kill them. The Cryolator. I've long dreamed of making cryogenic freezing available in a portable, on-demand form. The Cryolator is my latest attempt. Thankfully, we're in no short supply of the chemicals and components I need to tinker with the prototype. It's a nice way to occupy the time as we wait for the all-clear signal. I'm assuming this is the Overseer himself. The Overseer built a cryogenic gun, which I'm not going to use. Ever. Because it's not real! Operation Protocol Manual. Resident admittance. Upon activation notice from Vault-Tec, all personnel are required to report to the entry area and assist with admittance of Vault residents. So we already know that bit. Research staff will be responsible for resident intake and escort to the designated cryogenics pod. If you know that, once all residents have been sealed into preservation chambers, dispose of any detainees. Voluntary rooms remain sealed. Okay, so we already know that. So we already know start sites, I believe. I think we've already read these. I don't think there's anything different. Yep, so intervention is only required only if 80%. Must speak to your Overseer. Security personnel can do patrols, and security priorities are the following. And facilities and maintenance, do extra jobs that you wouldn't normally do. Speak to your Overseer for his discretion. All clear and evacuation. For a nuclear event, we'll monitor hazmats, blah blah blah. This time we receive an all clear message. Upon receiving all clear, you may evacuate at the Overseer's discretion. Disregard any notices from organisations that are not Vault-Tec. And classified as short-term assignment, non-residential personnel are expected to carry out research duties and all basic maintenance from the Vault while awaiting the all-clear signal to evacuate. In the absence of an all-clear message from Vault-Tec, the Overseer may elect to evacuate staff after a mandatory period of 180 days. So, most of these messages aren't anything we haven't seen before there. So, Overseer's log. The open evacuation Overseer's log. Preparations. The final staff orientation is complete. All but a few of the residents down in Sanctuary Hills have been enrolled, and several from Concord as well. Vault-Tec supervisors came up this week to do a technical review with me. This vault is ready to open. I can only imagine what wonders our residents will get to witness. The notion of leaping forward in time. I almost wish I could join them and see the promise of our future realised. Yeah, about that. October 23rd. It's happened. We were lucky that most of the staff were nearby when the warning came through. We had less notice than expected, but only Nordhagen was missing when we sealed the entrance. Nordhagen? I don't know who Nordhagen was. It's just a name. It might have been the Vault Rep guy. Who knows? Resident admittance went smoothly. Everyone made it, even the family that waited until the last minute. My family. I was worried there would be more suspicion, but things had gone so fast for these people. They must have been too overwhelmed to question the cryogenic pods. Yeah, and also we were told that they were just decontamination pods, and we'd be in them for a very short period of time, and then be out and be living normal lives in an underground vault. Systems malfunction. Strange issue today with pod C3. Subject appears to be having heart palpitations. Nothing life-threatening, but unusual. We realised almost too late that the pod was malfunctioning. The cryogenic array almost started thawing her out. We're not sure, but I suspect a hiccup in Vault-Tec's remote override systems may have sent out an errant signal. We'll have to keep an eye out. Only hope their systems are reliable once they evacuate the staff. Supplies are running low. There's been no all-clear signal yet, even though we're nearing the end of the 180-day mandatory shelter period. Supplies were never intended to last much more than that, and despite my best efforts, people are beginning to question what we're doing down here. If people think they can just leave when the 180 days are up, they're insane. The radioactive exposure would still be potent enough to fry anyone in the vault seals have breached. Fry enough to fry everyone if the vault seals had breached that early. The whole point of the all clear was to receive additional instructions from the main office. I don't know what to do. I can't open the vault. I can't expect our supplies to last forever. I just have to keep everything under control until the all clear. Mutiny. A faction led by the security personnel have turned on me, demanding they be allowed to leave the vault. Idiots. I'll not open the doors to be irradiated death out there. I'm consolidating the remaining supplies, putting the staff on lockdown. We're going to have to start prioritising who deserves what little food we have left. We've been too damn generous with the rations. If people don't like it, well, that's fewer mouths to feed. So yeah, so the overseer there, going by his instructions, trying to remain inside, but obviously saying that trying to maintain the stability of the actual experiment that was going on. Saying the radiation levels are still going to be too high, so while the mandatory period has ended and he can in fact open the doors, he's not going to, because it would in fact kill everybody inside the vault, and he's not in a position to want to actually do that right now. So he said, nope, I'm sorry, nobody is leaving the vault, everybody is staying inside here, and we're carrying on with our duties. And it looks like here we have these are obviously one of the scientists, another one of the scientists. The door was locked, so I can only assume that as the door was locked and there are skeletons around, that the security personnel decided that they were going to try and break out, but didn't get very far, maybe, or perhaps they did, because all they need to do, because there is a button up in the top side for calling the lift up. So most likely what happens is when that button's pressed, this lift at the end here goes up, and this all retracts out and seals the vault up. So it's not a permanent seal on the vault. I can only assume that's what happened, because the two guys who take your son are not actually in the vault, and the vault itself is still sealed when you get out. So it looks like there probably was a scuffle. the security team did decide that they had enough, and to be quite honest, if you're the overseer and you say, okay, I'm now going to look after everyone's guns and food, the people who are down there with you who don't like that are not going to give up their guns and food, and if they've already got the guns and food, they're just going to use them. And that appears to be what's happened here. Overseer killed. And actually, no, apparently not killed, because his leg is still moving even though there's no meat on it. So, zombies. But yeah, anyway, that's the terminals in Vault 111. Next time I will be doing a run through of the first town or two you come to. If I see any working computer terminals in there, then I'll do a short video on each one of those. Okay, but until then, thank you for watching these. I hope that some of this information is...
Am I the only one left?
You are the only one left. I hope this was somewhat informative for you as to the situation of what actually went down in Vault 111. And I'll see you next time. So thank you again, and good night.